So UFC 274, Carla versus Rose. Everybody's calling this the most boring fight in history. And I can't say that I don't understand why. Because I understand why everybody's saying that. But to me, it was one of the most interesting fights I've ever seen. I know everybody's like, I'm going to go to the next video. What is this guy talking about? But the simple fact is, I saw something that I've never seen before, and the reason why I was seeing it very much so interests me. Here's the thing. Rose has never been that inactive in a fight, I don't think, ever. Did anybody who's bashing this fight ever think to ask themselves why Rose was the most inactive she'd had ever been in a fight? No one did. Anybody ask themselves why? Let me tell you why. Rose, even though in that fight, on all occasions that she was taken down by Carla, was able to get back up in a reasonably quick amount of time, even though that was the case, she had a very cautious, or she had a very strong reluctance to commit to too much in order to allow for Carla to close distance, shoot in, and take her down. That interests me. That's very interesting to me. This is the same Rose that, for the longest time said, I've improved in this, I've improved much more than she has improved. This is the same Rose that people believe that to be true. It's very interesting to me that Carla Esparza, the same person that so many people knock, which I don't agree with, and here's the thing. I was going to win no matter who won that fight because I just wanted to see the fight. Here's the thing. I was mainly there not to see who won the fight. I was mainly there to see what happened, how they both approached each other. And in actuality, it happened just like I thought it was going to happen. Now, unfortunately, and obviously, I can't produce for you footage of me specifically saying, hey, they were going to be very reluctant to engage with each other, you know what I'm saying, prior to the fight airing. I can't produce that footage, but what I can do is I can tell you I knew without a shadow of a doubt that both fighters were going to be quite reluctant to engage based on how dangerous both of them are within the space that they specialize in. I knew this was going to happen. I just didn't know it would be to that extent. And it excited me. I was like, yo, these two are seriously respecting each other's respective expertise. Rose being her stand-up, Carla being her wrestling. But the thing is, neither one was really able to take advantage. Carla got her takedowns. I think she got maybe 2 or 3. They only credit her for 1 or 2. I don't know. But it was very interesting. Even though Carla got the takedowns, Rose was able to get back up. Carla couldn't really do much with them. But in the stand-up, here's the thing. So many people knock Carla for her stand-up. But one of the most dynamic finishers in the strawweight division, just think about this. This is why this interests me. One of the most dynamic strikers, one of the most dynamic finishers in the strawweight division was not able to thwart, not able to defeat Carla Esparza. This is the same person that knocked one of the greatest strikers in strawweight history out and beat her in a 5-round fight, that being Joanna. Oh, and by the way, and she did it to freaking Zhang Wei Li. Same thing. First round KO, rematch it, 5 rounds. She wins the decision. I know everybody wants to shit on a fight. Everybody is so quick. Boring fight. I was more interested in this fight than, let's say, a fight where take it. Oh yeah, I think it was Shannon Young versus name escapes me. No. It was Dumont versus God, the name escapes me. Dumont versus Macy Chasson earlier in the card. I was much more interested in this fight with Rose and Carla than I was that fight. Because in the Macy Chasson fight, Macy desperately trying to push someone up against the cage and not necessarily try for a takedown. Like the thing is, her goal was literally stay busy enough so that I don't get pulled off of the cage from her. That generated less interest for me, that fight, the dynamic of that fight, than this fight. The fight that everybody's shitting on. It's because of the psychology involved. See, I'm the person that is interested in the question, why? Why is this person behaving the way they are? That dynamic is the most interesting thing ever when you think about what Rose has done. The mental hurdles that she had to get over, like, oh my God, you knocked her out, but we think it's a fluke. And then turn around and win a 5-round decision. That same person had to come in and fight someone. This is the problem with this rematch. Well, damn, can't even say that. Because the just freaking killer Jessica Andrade beat her the first time. And it was for a title. Same way that it was for Rose with Carla. So it's very interesting, man. So she was able to get over the mental hurdle of that Jessica Andrade fight, which arguably is even worse than well, I don't know. But it's very interesting. Notice I keep saying the word it's interesting because it interests me as to trying to figure out why, the psychology behind it. Oh, they threw 26 punches in a 5-round fighter. Oh, they did this and then yeah. Everybody's so quick. There's my alarm. It's just everybody's so quick to shit on a fight because there wasn't blood and guts spilling everywhere. I mean, you gotta really, like, for me, grappling always gets me. It's like when you got an elite grappler in there and there's a whole bunch of positions being transitioned to and from, and it's just awesome. But I don't understand. Well, I understand, but it's just, I wish people would take a step back and understand the dynamic that was going on there. You got two fighters who have had such an easier time implementing their strategies in comparison to that, to where when you see that, you're like, holy shit, these two are so dangerous to one another in their respective areas that it completely made both, one more so than the other. That's an argument for whoever wants to make that, but nonetheless, made them both gun shy / very reluctant to take the slightest chance. It was cool as hell to see. And I was waiting for one or the other to really, really pull the trigger. By the way, I literally had to mute the commentary because it's just like, wow. I mean, I'm not saying you have to lie. I'm not saying that, but why not talk up the fact that Rose may or may not have gotten over that loss mentally? Maybe this was the most haunting loss of her career, and we're now seeing it play out. Why not talk about that instead of, wow, this is boring. This is no. And you could have even went and said, well, there's not a lot of activity and we got to understand why. I mean, this is da 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 da. And you could have gone on and on about the psychology. No, we just want to say, this is a title fight. What are you guys doing? Da, da, da. Like, even the professionals at being able to talk about something are sitting here shitting on the fight. But yet, they don't know what those fighters are really going through. And don't give me crap about DC being a former fighter. Here's the thing. DC never was in Rose's shoes. All the mental hurdles that she dealt with and the demons that she dealt with in her past, and then to turn around and go through what Rose did in that loss, DC does not know how she fucking felt. So what I'm getting at is, you don't know how both respective fighters have felt. You don't know what's going through their head. Stop sitting there and trying to shit on the fucking fight. I'm sorry. It's that simple. Give it a freaking break. Everybody wants blood and guts. I paid my money. I want to see blood. You guys should go watch a fucking jiu-jitsu match. It's two beasts. I think it was quite interesting, that dynamic of how reluctant they were based on the respect they were paying to each other's discipline. I thought it was freaking awesome. And it was an added bonus that everybody was pissed during the fucking fight. And I was having a fucking blast. Like, yo, my girl Carla, I was rooting for Carla, but even if Rose won, I'd have been happy, just even if it was whatever. That I just wanted to see how they reacted to each other. And lo and behold, man, especially being a Carla fan, it couldn't have went any better. The only way it could have been better is if she just dominated her again. But outside of that, this is probably the best it could have went as a Carla fan. Holy shit. You have completely neutralized one of the most dynamic strikers purely based on your resume. Wow. That's cool as hell if you're a Carla fan. I'm a Rose fan too. I just was leaning more towards Carla because, of her route back to the title and how everybody knocks her all the time. Oh, she's boring. I'm the rebel in that sense. I always want to I always want to root for fighters that I know everybody hates. Like, I love Caitlin Chukagian, even though people, she's a decision fighter, boring, boring, boring. But it's like, yo, this chick is fucking savage. She's turning away all these young new prospects. You got to respect it. But no, everybody wants to shit on things. Oh, she's not blood and guts knocking people out. But whatever. That's just my take on it. I think people are just too spoiled a little bit, I guess. I get it. And like I said, from jump, I understand it. I just fucking disagree. I thought it was interesting as hell. But hey, different thinkers here. It's two beasts.